On the committee side, we not only have a border security problem, we've got a cybersecurity problem in this country. We've got China in the infrastructure, in the telecoms. They're in the AT&T phone system. They're in Verizon, and we've got to fix this. The biggest issue is our cyber workforce. So I'll have a piece of legislation, same piece of legislation that we did right at the end last time, got it refined, but it'll be right up quick in the hopper, and that's the scholarship program similar to ROTC to get cyber professionals in the government. And it'll be a positive return on investment because we pay so much money for these consultants to come in. Much better to pay for a kid's education and then pay them, a captain's pay to work for the government, pay back the obligation, and then they're out in the workforce helping the country. So that's one of the big deals. And the drone issue, Todd.
Yeah.
My bill on drones from last cycle that had to go through 4 committees and didn't get to the floor, that's going to be a big priority for me, and that is to give and grant, with some constraints, local law enforcement the ability to take down these drones.
Well, the issue there, and it's a very real safety problem, as we saw just the other day in California, where one of the planes trying to put out the fires was hit by a drone. Yeah,
so the drones, we had a flight yesterday coming into, DCA redirected because of a drone. I don't know if that made the news, but the people on the plane were told that by the pilot. So, look, these are huge safety issues in that regard for civil aviation, but they're also a massive national security threat when it comes to things like, think about the open football stadiums. We've got Super Bowl coming up. Of course, that's in the Superdome. It's closed, but
we have the inauguration coming up, outdoors.
The inauguration. Absolutely. Now, they'll have DOJ, DHS, and DOD all have authorities to take these things down. It's, someplace like the inauguration, they're going to have counter UAS there, right? So but it's all across America, a small college game or a parade or a county fair. These things are all massive targets, and yet we don't have local law enforcement with the capability or the authorization to take drones down. So that bill of mine has got to pass.
Tucker Carlson, I don't know if you saw his most recent video. He says a U.S. intelligence agent told him the New Jersey drones were actually from China, and they took down a Chinese satellite that was sort of the command and control for the drone network. Is there any truth to that at all? Anything you can shed light on?
Well, I've been in classified briefings on this topic, and that hasn't come up. That doesn't mean that there isn't something that they're not telling us, but no one's brought that up to us in our briefings.
Now, I know that you're in the classified briefings, so you can't really say much, but President Trump said that he would be telling the American people what those drones were up to and their origins. Is that your understanding as well?
I was with him Saturday night for dinner with the chairman of all the committee, met with him, and that topic did not come up. If he says that's what he's going to do, that's probably what he's going to do.
Any need?
I hope so. Anyway, the transparency issue with the American people is a trust issue, and we gotta let people know.
Oh, absolutely. And again, it's just you're not knowing, and you've got a lot of conspiracy theories, all that speculation out there. So, I get it. It's it's unsettling. Can we go back to the border for a moment? And again, we've been hearing reports that a couple of the people accused of setting these fires in California are in fact illegals. The fact of the matter is, the cold hard reality is, we've had so many people coming across the border. The ICE agents really haven't been doing what they're assigned to do. Do you anticipate ICE agents getting back to their original mission?
Yeah, absolutely. You can 100% count on that. I met with Tom Homan, I guess a week ago or so, and he's chomping at the bit to get ICE back to doing its core mission. and he's got a funds request, of course, understood. But yeah, that is going to happen. Now, you got some state law enforcement agencies, local law enforcement agencies that are being told you're not going to participate. And we're going to figure out a way to make that very painful for those local law enforcement in those cities that do that.
Well, I'm glad to hear. And you guys are creative, and you're going to come up with ways that will convince them. You're going to make them an offer they can't refuse, I guess, Congressman, is a nice way of saying it.
Well, when I was a state senator, Joe Carr had passed a bill that made being a sanctuary city in the state of Tennessee illegal, but there was no teeth in it. So I came in and put teeth to that bill, removing all of the state economic development money to any city that became a sanctuary city. And that's certainly an idea that we can do nationwide. But that bill passed and it wasn't signed into law. The governor at the time just let it become law without his signature. But, it's law in Tennessee. They lose their economic development money if they become a sanctuary city.
How secure would you say the Homeland is right now under the Biden-Harris regime? We're
at our greatest risk since, before 1941. This nation, it really, honestly, I don't know, it may even be in the history of the country. We've allowed, 60, 70,000 Chinese nationals come into the United States. Director Wray, the other day in an interview, admitted that there are cells here, Chinese cells here. We've got the drug cartels that are now metastasizing and connecting with the gangs in America to create this criminal network. We've got Russia, in Ukraine. We've got Hamas and this massive imbalance of power in the Middle East, where Iran has just been turned loose, and Saudi Arabia, whom we used to partner with in order to balance against Iran, has been, basically denied anything they've wanted militarily or anything. So that you got Hamas in Israel, you've got Hezbollah, you've got Iran and all of its proxies, to include the Houthis disrupting, shipping in the Red Sea. China is chomping at the bit at Taiwan. They're still punching the Philippines in the face over the islands. We are as unstable a planet as we've been in a very long time. Some would say maybe pre-World War I, pre-World War II, but wow. I don't know. It's bad. And it's all Joe Biden's failed leadership.
Unbelievable. And the good news is Trump is going to fix all of this. It's going to take some time, and we just have to hope and pray that none of these, cells are activated and we don't have another situation like whatever happened in New Orleans. The thing with New Orleans and the assassination attempts against Trump, what happened in Las Vegas, it just disappears. You never hear any resolution. You never hear anything about investigations into what happened.
I will say on the Trump assassination, the task force in the Senate and in the House had fantastic recommendations. All that was public, and now it'll be Trump's director of Secret Service that executes the fix, right? So, that one, I think we got that addressed, and I missed the list, the other part of the list you rattled off. But, yeah, there are a lot of issues.
A lot, yes, that's it. Well, Congressman, always good hearing from you, and we'll get you back on soon. Congratulations, and I think it's going to be a great 4 years for the country.
It's going to be fun, and I'll keep you posted, Todd. Thanks.
All right.